Thank you, Lubinda, for joining.
Thank you very much.
And as I know, you are associate professor in Zambia. So what do you think are the main challenges in your country regarding waste management?
Well, I think that we, just like any other African country in sub-Saharan Africa, Zambia has huge challenges when it comes to waste management. First of all is, it comes to literacy and knowledge amongst the citizens about the negative effects of indiscriminate disposal of waste. So, the literacy and the knowledge on the hazards that come with, improper waste management that's one thing, one problem. The other one is maybe lack of capacity in terms of the municipalities whose responsibility is to collect waste in communities and in the central business districts. So the capacity can run from equipment, technology, and even the expertise and know-how. The other, factor is that when you look at the private sector, there's not much interest in the private sector to engage in, waste management from a private sector perspective, maybe because of lack of proper policies that will force citizens to be able to formally dispose of their waste. So you find that even the amount, of money that people pay towards solid waste management is very low because citizens have two options: either to use the formal setup or to just go and bury the trash or just to throw it around. And because of that, the local authorities are unable to collect that waste because they become overwhelmed. Of course, the organization of the industry in Zambia is such that central government, local government, and that is municipalities and the private sector have been given a chance to operate alongside each other. But because of these challenges, it's very difficult to manage that. But I think with the proper policies and strengthening of of systems, procedures, aligning Zambia's policies to maybe policies aimed at towards meeting, for example, EU standards on waste management, and other recommendations from international organizations, I think we'll be able to better manage solid waste.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what are you tackling in your research then? Which of these problems or challenges?
So in terms of research, my interest as an economist, environmentalist, is to ensure that we find a much more sustainable way of managing waste. So my emphasis has been trying to create money from waste. Waste is a very huge industry, and since our country has moved from a command economy since 1991 to a market economy, this, of course, should be a responsibility of government, but we need private sector participation. So how to create green jobs in the waste management, how to engage in public-private partnerships, that's my interest, and trying to create a green economy out of it, especially that the governments across the world are turning into want to create green economies because of a lot of problems that have got to do with pollution, and that is leading to climate change. So my main studies emphasis is trying to see how we can help the experts in the scientists in the field of solid waste management, not just to come up with solutions, but to come up with solutions that are able to be bankable solutions, how that can be self-funding, that can create jobs. So in trying to manage waste, you're also creating jobs for the many people, especially the youth. We have a huge problem of youth unemployment. We have a problem of, poor mining practices, especially across the African continent. So those areas that, have really suffered from pollution. So how we can remediate, those areas but in doing so create jobs and also to generate income. So all the whole chain, is in terms of how to make it sustainable and fall less on government funding. There should be no dependence on farming. Those are the areas that I'm very much interested in.
Maybe one last question, because you were mentioning the mining industry. So there's a big mining industry in Zambia, as I...
Yeah, the major foreign exchange earner in Zambia is the mining industry. Contributes about 80% of the foreign exchange inflows and about 18% of Zambia's GDP. And mining started over 100 years ago in Zambia, and there are a lot of existing mines and those that have closed down. Zambia has the most polluted city from mining, and it's called Kabwe. And vegetation doesn't grow there, and some other towns of what is known as the Copper Belt province in Zambia, which has one of the largest deposits of copper and cobalt in the whole world. So I've done research before, a consultancy with the Ministry of Mines, supported by the World Bank, on how to remediate those areas to see how former mines can be rehabilitated. That's one. Two, how we can create jobs that are going to bring back vegetative life, like afforestation. How to ensure that we come up with activities such as, for example, growing of bamboo. Bamboo, when you grow bamboo, it's not only going to have a positive impact on the environment, because now you are going to have vegetation, but you can also create an industry. So the industry is nurseries for bamboos. That is job creation at nursery stage. The planting itself, the people that are growing the plants will sell on to other companies or groups that are going to be planting that. Then from there, when the bamboo grows, for example, you go on and sell it to companies that are going to make toothpicks, mats, and everything. Then the rest that is going to remain, that is also plowed back into the soil in form of compost fertilizer or something. So the whole value chain, and that is really my interest. We've done a lot, in that particular area. And sub-Saharan Africa is rich in minerals, and the problems that Zambia is facing are not only Zambia's problems. You find them in Congo, find them in South Africa, and everywhere. You find there's no vegetative, there's no vegetation. People cannot fish, they cannot farm because the land is polluted, the water is polluted. So yes, this is a negative thing, but you can find an opportunity to create jobs in trying to clean the environment. You are again creating jobs for the same. And this is a very good story for Africa.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.